It's time to refresh your yard during spring backyard days at the Home Depot. Get low prices guaranteed on propane grills starting at $179, like the Next Grill 3-burner gas grill. Or get $50 off a select Weber Spirit Grill and bring big flavor to your backyard. Then set the scene with Hampton-based string lights that bring it all together. Shop spring backyard days for 7 days at the Home Depot, now through May 6th. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Last night, you spent 2 hours deciding what to wear to the party. This morning, it'll take you 2 minutes to list it on Depop and make your money back. Just grab your phone, snap a few photos, and we'll take care of the rest. The sheer dress and platform heels you'll never wear again? There's a birthday girl searching for them right now. Your one-and-done look is about to pay for your next night out. Or at least the ride home. Your style can make you cash. Start selling on Depop, where taste recognizes taste.
Yeah, we live, yeah, we gritty. I'm a little frustrated, but I still love my city. Yeah, north side, south side, west, we united.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to your favorite White Sox podcast, White Sox and BS. Let's begin. We're going to start off because right now I want to talk about the new star of our team. He is so good. I'm actually going to start learning Japanese soon just so I can talk to Murakami face to face when I interview him. Let me make sure I don't butcher his name. Munetaka Murakami. Our new first baseman of the White Sox has came out on fire. What are we, about a month in? And he already leads the league in home runs, tied with Aaron Judge. He's batting .236, 12 home runs, tied for 12th in RBIs at 23, and top 15 slugging percentage. He is the best baseball player in Chicago right now, since Sox are the only baseball team anyone cares about, Chicago. It's refreshing to have not one, but 2 stars on the Sox. We haven't had this in a while. The last star we had was only Colston Montgomery by himself last year. And now we got Colston and Murakami. I am excited. I thought it was going to be a season where we don't do anything, but we are really coming out hot. I haven't been here in a while, so I don't know how to react. How about you?
Murakami came in and there was not a lot known about him. No one knew what to expect. No one knew if his bat would play, and he's answered those questions resoundingly so. He had a 5-game streak of home runs. You got to give him credit for what he's doing right now on the South Side. He's tearing things up for sure. He's turning some heads.
Absolutely. He's got 8 home runs at home. He's really good versus left-handers. He's not as good, but he's faced more right-handers. The only downside about him is apparently daytime. He doesn't hit as many home runs as nighttime, but that's a schedule thing, not a him. But I am just so excited that him and Colston Montgomery, I think they set the record for most games a pair of 2 players have hit home runs in a row at 4. It was just that one week where they both hit a home run one day, they both hit a home run the next day, and the next day, and the next day. My stupid self bet on the 5th day, and I apologize for breaking the streak, because that's when they stopped hitting home runs together when I bet them.
5 consecutive games with a home run. You decided to put money on it and mess it all up.
I didn't think they were going to go 4 straight. So I was like, you know what? They're going to go 5th straight. And then they did.
But
so,
I think he did
was
bounce back the next game after that with another home run.
Right. They were waiting on me to not bet on it. And then that's when they go for the home.
I need you to chill.
But I'll stop betting on them because it's getting ridiculous at this point. But let's dive into what just happened. We swept the LA Angels 3 separate games on Wednesday, Tuesday, and Monday. So they played 3 straight days. We beat them on Monday 8-7. We beat them on Tuesday 5-2, and then we beat them on Wednesday 3-2. But it took 1 extra inning, which I was shocked. I'm actually more impressed with the Tuesday one. I think that's when we faced off against their best pitcher, Soriano, who has been on fire this season. He hasn't allowed a run until he played us. So now he took his first loss against us, officially 4-1. But Jose Soriano
He did take his first
has
loss
been
against us.
shutting out 5 straight teams, and then he ran into a buzzsaw with our Japanese Murakami, and I love it. Actually, that was a Colston game, Colston and Romo. but I love the way these bats are swinging. I don't like how much we are Murakami and Colston dependent, but I do feel it's getting contagious. Vargas is starting to hit better. Andrew Benintendi came back, and I was like, he's not going to do anything. And he has been contributing to the offense. Those four really carried a lot of what we're doing. Benintendi, I never thought I'd say that. Vargas, Colston, and Murakami. So our offense is actually playing pretty solid, and I can't even call we're playing small ball because we're swinging for the fences. And we, as a team, I wouldn't be shocked to see that we're somewhere in top 5 home runs total. I'm sure Yankees are at the top because Ben Rice and Aaron Rodgers have like 20 combined homers. But so do Colston and Murakami. But yeah, no, I like our offense. Defense 50-50. I'm not gonna say it's bad because I don't think our pitching's been that great, but the defense behind the pitching has stepped it up. It's not the greatest, but it's gotten better. Pitching's gonna be whatever it is. We're not having bad games. Our pitchers seem to be getting saved, but that's what a team game is. We don't have to have 5 different sales on the mound every night, or else we never win if that's what we're waiting on. You got to play. You got to help the pitcher out sometimes. You can't just expect him to throw 9 Ks a game. So at least for the series that we just had, I like the potential, and I love how we swept them, and then we kept coming in the clutch. There's games where they had the lead, but come 4th through 7th inning, that's when our offense would explode. But then I'd be worried, are we going to give up another lead? And we just didn't. And I was like, oh my goodness, who are these White Sox? I'm loving what I saw potentially in that streak because Angels aren't a bad team. They've got some dogs, especially with Trout, Adele, Soler, their ace we took out. So I love what the Sox are doing.
I said coming into this season that the White Sox bats and the White Sox hitters would be what you're focusing on from this team. You'd be focusing on the fact that you're going to rely on your offense to really carry you through the season, that your pitching is not going to be your strong point. The Sox have gotten some important pitching performances sprinkled out throughout the season here and there. They've had some pitchers step up, but it's ultimately about the hitters. It's ultimately about the guys that are swinging the bats. Murakami, Montgomery, those are the guys you're going to rely on. I mean, funny that you mentioned the game against Soriano that the White Sox won. Romo came in out of nowhere. No, I'm not talking about Tony Romo, people. But Romo came out there out of nowhere and hit 2 home runs from each side of the plate. I mean, and you already said, this guy was lights out. He was not giving up any runs. And sometimes that's how funny baseball is, man. You get the unexpected guys that you don't necessarily have a scouting report on who come in out of nowhere, catch you off guard, and before you know it, the ball is being hit over the fence against you. So, I like what I've seen from the White Sox. I'm appreciative of these guys going out there and, performing, right? I mean, I always say it's up to the players to play. It's up to the players to step up and perform. Again, you're not going to get guys like you already pointed out. You're not going to get these starting pitchers pitching 8 and 9 innings worth of work, striking out 10, 11, 12 batters. That isn't going to happen with this team. Certainly not this season, at least. That's not something you can expect or rely upon. So it's important to get the hitting performances, and the Sox have given you some clutch hitting performances here, especially in these recent games, especially on this homestand, to come away with that sweep. I mean, that was big. In the day game for Colston Montgomery to come in right there in the 10th to finish that game and close it out, huge. I mean, it was only April 28th, right? But still a nice win at home to get a series sweep.
Well, on to the next series that we play. We play the Padres, and then we have a rematch, which I think will be our final series with the Los Angeles Angels, but we play in Los Angeles. The Padres are kind of having a resurgence, which is so weird because they're not really hitting home runs. They've somehow converted into a nice little small ball team. Fernando Tatis,
I know you can't stand small ball.
He might have maybe 1 home run this season so far. He's not hitting it out the park. Machado, he's not hitting it out the park. Bogarts isn't hitting it out the park. Laureano, I think, only has like 4 home runs. He's been okay. But somehow they are 19 and 11 as their defense is legit. Yeah, even the pitching, they lost Cease, Everyone thought they'd start off kind of like with our record at 14-7, but they're just playing a great team ball. I know for the first game, we've got the rookie, Schultz. He's pushing our tall six. What is he? 6'10" or 6'11"?
6'10".
He's playing the wrong sport. Like, hey, bro, there's the court. We need a center. Come on, Noah Schultz. What are you doing? But yeah, Noah Schultz is starting against the Padres. I can't wait to actually see how he does against them. They're not the best hitting team right now, so I'm not saying it's going to be a cakewalk, but it should be like a kind of a game that helps his confidence with a team that's not going to light it up versus semis, at least as far as the long ball. But they are going to get a bunch of
I
chip
wouldn't
shots,
necessarily
and he's
bank
got to
on
be
that
ready
part.
for that.
I
Think
wouldn't
so?
bank on that part. It's because it's still early in the season. And even though this is a West Coast team, it's still early in the season, and those hits can start leaving the ballpark very soon, especially for Fernando Tatis. He's hitting the ball harder than anybody right now across the sport.
True.
If you start looking at
I
exit
mean,
velocity and you start looking at hard hit rate, you're going to see Fernando Tatis Jr.'s name right there near the top. Part of the
maybe last
situation with him
season.
is bad luck in terms of him because he's hitting the ball hard. If you're hitting the ball hard, you're making good contact, your barrel rate is high. I mean, at this
He's
point,
barrel rate
really,
is
it's just
high.
bad luck. So, if he starts, I don't want to say elevating the ball more, but, with the contact that he's making, there's a chance that even in this series against the White Sox and against Noah Schultz tomorrow, there's a chance it could lead a park. So, be mindful and be careful of who you're matching up against because these guys can still hit for power. And you let Tatis get a hold of it, he gonna let you know he got it. He gonna let you know that he's sending it out the stadium. So be careful.
Sure. Good insight. Good say. Yeah, no, we're still waiting to see the leap from Noah Schultz, but it's super early. He literally just started a couple games, and he's got a solid ERA at 3.52, which is kind of where everyone kind of expected the rookie to start, maybe even a little higher. So I'm not mad about 3.52.
Yeah, I don't have any complaints about Noah Schultz.
Yeah, our best pitcher right now, Davis Martin, he won't be in this series. He's starting the series after against the Angels. I actually would rather see him play this series, but I get it. But we're going to see Noah the first game, Sean Burke the second game. I'm still not sold on Burke, but he's been pretty good. He has an argument as our second best pitcher, Anthony Kay. He gets better control. He will be I'm not gonna say forced to deal with, but he's definitely gonna be needed towards the end for us, assuming that we're gonna make a push to the playoffs. It's early, so I'm always an optimist about playoffs when you have your left-handed pitcher that's getting better at his control per start. How much better can he get? I don't know. He's not that young. He's 31, so he's been in the league for a while. So he's just at this point just kind of more starter level, but as long as you're a left-handed pitcher, you will always have a place in the league if you still can throw at least 90 miles per hour. You will always have a place in the league as a left-handed pitcher. The next series versus San Diego, I always go for low production because every time I've said low, we end up winning more. So I think we're going to win one against San Diego and go 1-2. And then I think we're going to win one against Angels and go 1-2 because we got to rematch their pitcher. What's his face? I think Soriano. We got to see him again, and I don't know if we're gonna get him twice after getting him once. What do you think about the next two series versus San Diego Padres and the Angels?
Flat out say the White Sox taking 2 out of 3 against both of them. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm saying we win in both series. It's not gonna be a sweep against both series, but I'm gonna say we're gonna win both series. I'm gonna be optimistic on this road trip. The Sox did well on
Is
the
it
last road
because
trip that they had out to the West Coast, and I'm gonna keep the positive vibes rolling with this one as well. So I'm gonna say you take 2 out of 3 against the Padres, and you're gonna take 2 out of 3 in the rematch against the Angels. At the end of that road trip, you're gonna have a winning baseball team on your hands, Sox fans.
is it because that non-Chicago team up north just beat them 2 out of 3? Just beat the Padres 2 out of 3, so we should easily be
What
able to
team you
take
talking
them two
about?
out of three. Is that what it is? I hear there's some team up north, the Scrubs, something. They're not even in the city. I think they're in Evanston. The Evanston Bear, the Evanston like Baby Bears or something like that.
I thought they played in Schaumburg. They don't play in Schaumburg?
They play somewhere out the city, but yeah, no, they beat the Padres 2 out of 3. In theory, we should probably clean sweep the Padres if they could beat them. If they can beat them, I know we could beat them.
We can beat them, for sure. We can definitely beat them. I'm predicting 2 out of 3 against the Padres. I'm predicting 2 out of 3 against the Angels. That Davis Martin versus Soriano matchup in that Angel series is definitely going to be one to watch from a pitching standpoint. We'll see if anybody can produce some runs in that game. That's going to be probably the highlight matchup of that particular series going into it. So I'm looking forward to that much as well. I mean, again, the White Sox right now in a division that no one has separated themselves. The Tigers were the team that myself and every baseball prognosticator predicted to win this division and to separate themselves from the pack. They have not done that yet. So the White Sox, even though they're below 500, are only a game and a half out of first place.
Something like that.
You got a chance to. I'm not saying the Sox are about to go out there and win the division, but
why not? Fuck it. Let's go for it.
I feel you, but you're currently in a good spot right now. You got some talented players that are playing well, which can lead into our next topic right now, actually. We already talked about Munetaka Murakami earlier, so let's bring him back up again right now. Let's talk about what the White Sox have done with talented young players. Yeah, we about to go there.
Oh,
what the White Sox have typically done with talented young players, guys who have performed at a high level, they've typically traded some of those guys away. Obvious case in point, Garrett Crochet, Dylan Cease, who you mentioned. The White Sox tend to get rid of some of these guys. And there's already speculation that the White Sox may decide to trade Murakami. Harry, your thoughts?
Who is speculating? Hold on. How much can I curse? Do I got like a curse limit? Because I want to curse out all these people that are lying that we should trade.
Look,
it's probably some dumbass Cardinal fans. Or some...
I'm going to start my watch right now. Do your thing.
Okay. Hey, listen, look at me. Where's the camera? This camera right here? Listen, you
That's
dumbass,
that camera right there.
A stupid ass, dumb fucking Cardinal, Jets. What other teams? What other teams suck? Browns. I don't even know Brewers' record. Brewers, all Cubs, all you ingrates and idiots that think we're going to let go the next Shohei Ohtani 2.0, you are out of your mind. There is no way, no possible way. I believe we took a boat to Japan, sword fought all those samurais, went in the deep caves and trained as ninjas to find Murakami to drag his ass over here just to say, hey, Murakami, after a year, we're going to let you go and we're going to move you because our plan was to reset. And so we're going to keep resetting until the end of time because that was the whole point, to get in young talent and then grow them. This is what we're doing. You can't keep getting young talent and trading it away. We're the third largest market, and we have the whole market to ourselves because there's no other team in Chicago. We're the third largest market, and we're out here moving like we're Memphis. Nobody wants to move like Memphis. Nobody wants to move in Memphis. Nobody wants to play in Memphis. Nobody wants in Memphis anything. So why are we moving like we're a small ball team? I even understand, you know what? We haven't paid anyone because of the history of what the Sox were before. Fine. But Sox have never had a Shohei Ohtani in prime. Sox have had Ken Griffey Jr. at 86 years old. Sox have had Kevin Youkilis at 112 years old. If there's an old player that's about to retire, they end up a White Sox. That's what the White Sox are used to. We finally have a player in prime that we brought to Chicago. That's our rookie, and we're going to let him go for what? I even understand moving Tatis. He wasn't doing anything on the White Sox. I hate what he became, but there was no one that was going, dang, we letting go of Tatis? This would be such a big mistake to bring in a guy that you developed just to trade him.
I was saying,
again,
why are we moving Tatis? He hadn't even made a big league appearance yet. But I was saying, why are we moving Tatis for James Shields, who just gave up 10 runs in the first inning of his previous start.
Right.
So that pissed me off. But go ahead.
I think I didn't want James Shields because I thought he was over the hill. I just didn't know
He
who
was over the
Tatis
hill.
was.
He
But I
proved it
get
in
that.
his last start when he gave up 10 runs in the first inning. But
We
back to what you were
weren't
saying
getting
about
James
Murakami.
Shields we weren't getting James Shields in prime. So I just didn't want James Shields. But at the same time, I didn't know who Tatis was to be like, keep Tatis. I just know like, hey, why are we getting an old James Shields that's over the hill? It's like getting Max Scherzer right now. He keeps getting lit up in Toronto. I know Toronto's like, yo, this is not the Max Scherzer we thought we were getting. But anyway, back to the subject. We don't
That's Murakami.
need
Go ahead.
to look at any offers from Murakami. What we need to do is we need to just give total control of the team to one of the Ishmael brothers because them Ishmaels got money. And then once he takes control over Jerry, then we surround him and Colson Montgomery with pitching. We don't even need to change the roster. I'm okay with Benintendi. I'm okay with Vargas. I'm okay with Sosa. But let's upgrade the rotation. Closers aren't actually bad. We got some pretty decent closers. Let's get 2 aces in here. By the time Murakami's up, Paul Skeens is going to be up. And I'm sure Paul Skeens is looking around like, yo, come on, Dodgers or Yankees are my only 2 choices for big money. No, Sox. Put your hat in the ring. Put your hat in the ring. Get that Paul Skeens. Who else are some young pitchers that their money's probably going to be up? If Detroit's stupid enough to let go Tariq Skubal, get Tariq Skubal. Just keep getting pitchers to help Colson Montgomery and Murakami because we can win a championship as is if we got way better pitching. The offense is
Okay, now
there. The defense
win the
is
championship
solid.
now. Okay.
We just don't have the pitching. I don't see the point of letting go Shohei Ohtani 2.0, and it's baseball. So you don't trade for players, you trade for prospects. I don't see the point in letting go Shohei Ohtani 2.0 for a bunch of high school kids that we won't see play for 2 years, and we don't even know if they can play. That's my rant. That's my freaking rant.
So you got that off your chest? You feel better now? You good?
A little bit, tiny bit, just a little tiny bit better.
So to address some of the things that you said, how is he Shohei Ohtani 2.0 if he doesn't pitch?
Oh, the hitters are the Dodgers version last year, not this year. The one that didn't pitch still hit 50 home runs. That one, first year Shohei.
Okay, I'll try to let you have that. So how
Wait,
many
time out,
years
time out.
did?
You think because he's Japanese, I'm just putting random Japanese players together? Are you calling me a Japaneseist?
Wait, listen.
Is
There's
that
no
what you're
shade for
calling
on
me?
this show.
A
There's no shade
Japaneseist?
for race. We don't see
My
color over
goodness.
here, right? We don't see color over here.
A Japaneseist? I didn't want to call him
So
Aaron Judge 2.0 because Aaron's bigger. Aaron's like the Hulk. If you ever seen him in real life, pause. No homo. Aaron is huge. Aaron has girth.
you was mentioning samurais and ninjas though. So
Wow. I might be a Japaneseist. I apologize
I'm
to
just
all the
saying.
samurais. To all the samurais and ninjas out there in Japan.
At least you
My
didn't
bad.
throw a Godzilla reference in there. But
Oh, I forgot that one.
Murakami signed a contract with the White Sox for 2 years. So
Facts.
you got him for this year. You got him for next year. If we were to fast forward through this season, at the end of this season in December 2026, there is likely going to be a looming work stoppage in baseball. So you may not even get to play a season next year.
Okay.
I'm not saying you're going to lose Murakami's rights because in all likelihood, you'd still retain those rights regardless, even if there isn't a season next year. Who's the owner of the Chicago White Sox right now? Who's the chairman? Jerry Reinsdorf is the cheapest SOB in MLB. The only thing that he cares about is making money for himself and for everybody else on his board. He doesn't care about you or I as the fan. That is irrelevant to him. As long as he's putting money in the pockets of his owners, of his board members, his stockholders, he feels as though he's doing a good job. And he gonna squeeze every 10 cents out of every nickel that he can possibly get to do it. The White Sox have never given a contract to any player over $100 million. Not a single one. It doesn't exist. The highest paid player in White Sox history is who? Andrew Benintendi.
$75
He ain't
million,
worth that.
baby.
He ain't worth the contract that he was given. Never should have got it. And he's not even having a terrible season this year. But is he overpaid? Absolutely. But I say all of that to say this. The landscape of Major League Baseball, when you get a player who is hot, who is performing well, who is approaching the final years of his contract, and because of the contract that he signed only being 2 years, you got this year, you got next year. Next year, if he gets to next year, you are talking about a lame duck who could essentially walk at the end of that season unless you exercise one of two options. Extend him now, right now, between now and All-Star, extend him, or trade him. That's it. That's the game right there. You either make something happen now or you prepare to wave goodbye to him. What has the White Sox typically done historically with players in those situations?
Why would he want to leave?
I didn't say he would
It's
want to
Chicago.
leave. I simply asked the question, what have the White Sox done historically in those situations?
Stupid moves that we're trying to prevent.
I agree. The White Sox have typically exercised terrible judgment. They've made a lot of stupid decisions. We agree there. There's no dissension. It's not a problem of what you or I would do in this scenario. It's a problem with what the White Sox would do in this scenario. What do we believe is going to happen in this scenario? Because I can definitely see a scenario where the White Sox look at the landscape and Jerry Reinsdorf says, I don't want to pay Murakami an extension right now. I don't want to extend him for 4 or 5 years right now, regardless of him being tied for the major league lead in home runs, regardless of him helping my team win games right now and him being one of the most productive hitters in the American League. I can definitely see Jerry Reinsdorf having that mindset of not wanting to put dollars towards a player in this situation and preferring to go to his GM and saying, yeah, make a trade and bring back some young guys that I don't have to pay as much. Is that the smart decision? I won't say it's the smart decision. Is it the Jerry Reinsdorf decision? Yes. That is a very
I
Jerry
refuse to believe he's
Reinsdorf-like
that dumb.
decision.
You get the other half of Japan, man. You get the ratings of Murakami. You get the other half of Japan. And if he keeps hitting homers, those seats at Comiskey will fill up. So trade him if you want. I get it. No one comes to the stadium to see pitchers. They come to see hitters. Pitchers are good, but they
Tornado
don't fill
AIDS
the
calling it.
seats. If you are trading a guy that has the potential to fill the seats, sell the team. Because there's no way you shouldn't put in a bid. Now, if you're telling me we make an offer and he turns it down, especially if it's a large offer, you can't control that. That's what happened with the Angels and Shohei. Was like, hey, I'm going across the street to the evil empire. But if you don't make an offer to keep him, knowing that he started so hot, even the Boys Town Club up north wants to come down and see him. Hey, pause. That structured sense. Oh, hey, yo. Even the Boys Town team up north wants to get their knee pads and come on down to see him. And he is box office right now. And I don't think he knows a word of English. I love where we're heading. Whatever we're doing for where we're heading. But Colson Montgomery and Murakami right now are the guys that are going to put butts in seats and bring the fans back. Of course, the fans are always going to be there, but bring them back. Like, all right, let's watch the game because we want to see a Murakami home run. I promise you, by the time he's at 25 home runs and we're only in half the season, all of a sudden we're going to be like, hey, Comiskey's looking kind of full today. Oh man, Comiskey's looking kind of full again. It's box office. People want to come to see the hitters. And we finally have not one, but two hitters, and they're not even big guys. Even though Murakami's 6'2", him and Colson Montgomery, they both look like shortstops. Colson Montgomery is a shortstop, but they both have that very skinny basketball player look. So they're not like they don't look like tight ends or offensive linemen like an Aaron Judge. So to see them hitting with this much power, this much force, this much consistency at their frame, it is a fun watch, man. I'm just hoping Sox go. So you say, you know what? maybe we can bring in, I don't want to say Soto because he's getting way overpaid, but maybe we could bring in a Stanton when Yankees inevitably let him go and bring him in as our DH to come here and then get at least one or two solid pitchers that I think are going to hit the free agent market. I could see Max Fried, the Yankees hitting the free agent market just because they got Garrett Cole coming back, and I don't know if they want to even try to pay both, but they will be losing Stanton's salary. I just don't see them keeping Stanton at the
So
same
there's
salary
a
rate.
lot of hypothetical. There's a lot of hypothetical and a lot of projection going what you're referring to. And I'm cool with that. But at the same time, how do you see things progressing with the current roster that we have for the White Sox? Because again, as you get to the All-Star break, and we aren't even close to the All-Star break right now. Again, tomorrow is May
Not
1st.
even close.
So we have a long way to go, people. A long way to go. I mean, there's several more months left in this season. But the point still remains is you can go one of two ways with this franchise, right? If the White Sox, by the time we do get closer to June and July, if they're still second, third in the division, if they're still one or two games out of first place, that further puts more pressure and more onus on ownership and management and the front office to say, yeah, we got to make sure we keep Murakami and try to extend him going forward. Because, to your point, you have a highly productive player, a player who's hitting home runs, a player who's generating excitement, who could potentially be putting butts in seats, who could potentially be improving the standing, both, figuratively and literally of your baseball team, right? You want to keep that around beyond, obviously, this season and next season. But let's say the White Sox don't have the record success that you want them to in terms of win-losses, and they go the other way and they backslide. And now you're trending more towards the end of the division and the bottom of the division, and you're not one or two games out of first place. You start looking and seeing, well, the Sox went on a 7-8 game losing streak. And I'm not predicting that, by the way, but I'm just saying, if that were to happen and now you 7-8 games out of first, again, that put the bug in Jerry's ear. Jerry's going to get itchy and scratchy and want to say, well, maybe we should think about trading him, getting some prospects, and I can save some money. So those are the
Well,
things that are more important right
let me
now
say,
in projecting out of who could potentially be signed by the White Sox or who could be, what other teams may have to let players go here and there. Because you got to look and see what are they going to do on this team right now between now.
I think the season was supposed to be a throwaway season. This season was supposed to be a season where we look at the prospects, see what we have, and Noah. There's a few others we got to see that are going to come up, but this was we didn't expect to be here so close to 500, and we didn't expect to have hitters like this type of season. I just don't see the point in going to Japan and getting a guy just to let him go, like the way we are. It doesn't make any sense
Because
at all.
nobody expected him to be as good
Because
as
it's
he's
such
been
a
right now.
so
That's
what?
part of it. Nobody expected him to be as
So
good as
because
he's been to this point. Because again, that's why you signed him to a 2-year deal. That's why it's not like every team across the league was bidding on Murakami. You had a few teams that were
there,
bidding on him, yeah. But it's not like all teams across baseball were bidding on Murakami's services. And part of the
I'd
reason
say
you sign a
he's one of the
2-year
big three.
deal, okay, but part of the reason you sign a 2-year deal is because you think you can hit free agency sooner rather than later. You can prove yourself, and then all those big teams are really going to come calling. And then you can really get the big payday that you're looking for from Murakami's perspective. And from the White Sox perspective, if it didn't work out for whatever reason, then yeah, you only sign him to a 2-year deal, you cut bait, you move on. Or to the point, if it does work out successfully where he is a highly productive player, but your record isn't what you want your record to be, then you trade him. So I don't think it's that the White Sox are ahead of schedule. If anything, the White Sox are where they kind of expected to be, a below 500 ball club. The rest of the division has separated itself from the White Sox. That's part of the thing. And the second part of it is Murakami has exceeded individual expectations for him. which has led to the discussion about him. I'm not saying we should trade him either. Let me be honest with you. Like, I don't think the White Sox should trade him. Just like I didn't believe they should have traded Crochet. You have highly productive players. You should keep the highly productive players that you have. And you should want to see them succeed within your organization and be successful for you, as opposed to them being successful for other teams elsewhere. And to your point earlier, you keep trading these guys away for, prospects that won't be here within 2 or 3 years. You're doing it every 2 or 3 year cycle. You're not improving as a ball club. You're just going in circles and going through the motions. So I recognize your point in that regard. But at the same time, we got to recognize who's the chairman of this team and how he would operate if he had his druthers and what would happen.
I have a strong feeling that cycle will be broken with Murakami. That cycle will be broken because Matt Ishba came here because of that.
If he was fully in charge, then I have no doubt what would happen. I wouldn't be concerned at all. But he doesn't have full authority of the team yet, and he can't take full authority of the team yet unless, one or two things happen. So I'm not going to speak of what one of those things might be, but,
Things are changing for the better. There was a time where we'd only go to Dominican Republic to get guys. And apparently we don't want to be passport bros anymore and go to the Dominican Republic. Now we're going to Japan. So the mentality's changed from us constantly going to get someone with the last name Rodriguez only, Vargas only, Okada only. Now we're mixing it up. Now, why nobody in MLB goes to Africa? I have no idea. I'm not going to touch that right now. I'll look that up. But at least we're going to a different country, and we are going to Japan, and we're getting Japan guys. It shows something is changing the mentality in the front office. And I truly believe that Murakami and Colson Montgomery are both going to get the extensions that we need to keep them longer than whatever couple of years, especially Murakami because he signed in such a short deal. And that's all I got on that subject.
I mean, look, I'm with it. I'm with you. I would prefer to see him stay with the White Sox as opposed to getting traded and shipped off someplace else. I'm not on board with that. But I can see a world where it happens, and we'd have to talk about it in depth if it does. So, we'll see what's up. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, you got anything else you want to talk to the people about?
Nope. Just giving my middle finger to all the people that want Murakami to be traded by the White Sox because they want their team to get him. That's not going to happen. Stay away from him. This is our sushi, not yours. We got our own ninja. We got our own samurai. Stay away from our guy. Got it?
This is our sushi is not what I expected. No, that's solid. I can go for some hibachi right now though, but you know what I'm saying? It's all good.
Me too. Is hibachi Japanese or Chinese? I'm like 70% sure it's Japanese.
Hey, don't get us canceled acting crazy. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Wrap this up.
I'm just saying, hibachi. All right. Well, anyway, back to the show. Hibachi file. All right. Thanks everybody for getting on the show and listening to us rant about our love for Murakami and all things White Sox. As the only baseball team in Chicago, we love telling y'all about what the only baseball team in Chicago is doing. I'm Harold, and your favorite co-host, JJ3, and peace out. See you later. Thanks for watching.
Appreciate you tapping into this latest episode from the Frustrated Chicago Sports Fan channel. Don't matter if you was watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify or Apple. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with everybody on the block, and hit the notification bell so you never miss none of our daily drops. And to all the guys from the shy, we say 3 things: bear down, fly the W, and sell the team, Jerry.